What's up guys, welcome back. In today's video we're going to be talking about Pelipper as a safe switch, and we're going to be showcasing a team that a user from the community called MacDaddyMPls, he submitted a battle, a set where he went actually 20-0 with this team. So he sent just one set. We're just going to go through one set today and we're going to look at that. And then this weekend I should be putting out, I know I said today I was going to put out that video about the XL candy, but I've been saying it on stream. I might have mentioned it yesterday's video, I can't remember, but I'm going to be working on that update video talking about now how long it will take to max out a legendary. That should be coming out this weekend, so stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss that. It should be pretty interesting, to say the least. Okay, so let's just get into the battle. So he's using kind of a meta team. You know, we got Galvantula in the lead. We have Pelipper as a safe switch, which has become a lot more popular in the last, well, ever since it got Weather Ball. And then also Galarian Stunfisk, which is just a staple pick. So if you're trying to rank up and you're trying to do better this season, if you can learn to use, you know, a team with Stunfisk, you'll probably have a lot of success with it. So let's just get into the battles, and we'll kind of talk about a few situations here where it's good to learn, because a lot of people make mistakes in the secondary matchup, so we're just going to talk about that. So the first lead, he does have a pretty favorable lead because he's an electric type versus a flying type, so you know, flying is weak to electric. So the opponent opts to just let it go, comes in with the Bastiodon, and then he switches into Pelipper, but luckily for him, you know, their back line was somewhat weak to Pelipper because this is obviously a grass type being weak to a flying type. And so gonna just go straight for the Hurricane here to try to knock it out, and gets the shield, so unsuccessful with landing it. But now they have Galvantula, which is also effective against grass because the bug typing does super effective damage. And so he's gonna go for the undercharge here to try to get a little bit more farm, but gets a shield anyways. So that's a pretty good situation to be in because now he's got 2 shields to 0. But gonna let this one go, it looks like. And because it was debuffed, it doesn't knock it out. So again, very knowledgeable about how much damage a Frenzy Plant does, and this just comes with experience. So if you're switching a lot of teams and not finding success, it's because you might be not learning the ins and outs of your team. So give yourself time to really learn your team and learn, like, you'll just learn those situations where, like, okay, Frenzy Plant will do this much damage, I can safely not shield it. You have to learn those things, otherwise you won't have that much success with your team. So that just comes with experience. So yeah, everyone says the #1 tip to do well in Great League is just stick to a team and don't switch. Okay, just try a team that works and just keep getting better with that team. Anyways, second game, pretty decent lead. The bug type is weak to flying, but the electric type resists flying, so it's neutral. And then same with Tropius, the flying type is weak to electric, but grass resists electric, so it's also neutral. But they decide to switch out and come in with Sableye. So he's gonna throw the lunge first, probably before switching. And then yeah, tries to switch there, but CMP ties, so it's gonna have to, probably I would shield here. Yeah, you don't wanna lose it right away. You wanna kinda keep that for the Tropius. But comes in with Pelipper, and Pelipper is really spammy. So again, talking about Pelipper as a safe switch, it's a very, very good safe switch because it's really spammy. It's got water and flying moves, so it has a lot of good coverage. And it's just, the wing attack just generates a lot of energy really fast. So it's just, yeah, having that Weather Ball is such a good move to have. So yeah, I definitely like this Pokemon as a safe switch. Okay, Umbreon comes in now, super tanky Pokemon. So MacDaddy is just gonna go straight for the Hurricane, gonna try to land the Hurricane, and lands it, but it doesn't do that much damage, but at least he landed it. So probably could let, you know, well, no shield, so you have to let this go anyways, but but yeah, I think Pelipper did its job in chunking down. And now that was kind of weird, sacking the spider there was kind of interesting. Maybe he thinks, oh, probably thinks he can get to a Hurricane or something. Yeah, so didn't want to get hit with that. So actually, okay, I remember now. So that was actually a good play, trying to save the energy on the Pelipper because that flying move would have done super effective damage against the Tropius. So very, very well played. And now this is a pretty good situation to be in. Leaf Blades do add up, but also Stunfisk is very spammy as well. only 5 mud shots, so just remember that, 5 mud shots to Rock Slide. And Rock Slide's super effective against that flying type. Now here, I think Earthquake would be the move because I don't think Rock Slide would KO from here. And luckily, it's only 7 mud shots to Earthquake, if I'm not mistaken. And that should knock out this. You can see it's very, very close though. That Umbreon, just really, really spammy. I believe it's like 7 Snarls for 2 foul plays. And so, yeah, gets the win there. And now we're going to see, I wrote down some notes over here. Yeah, we're going to see some lost leads in these last 3 battles. So we're gonna like analyze a couple of them, but some good plays were made here. All right, and let's see how this lead goes. So this lead is going to be in Altaria, and it is neutral to electric because of the flying and dragon typing. Dragon resists electric, flying's weak. But so he switches into Pelipper, they switch into their Ferrothorn, and the Power Whip's going to do a big chunk of damage, but I noticed this trainer always lets that first one go because they know that they can tank it, and so goes for the Hurricane and it lands. And so let me pause right here. If you look very close at the health bars, you'll notice now the Pelipper is ahead. So when you lose the lead and now you're ahead in the secondary matchup, it probably would be prudent for you to try to win that secondary matchup now that you know you're ahead. So let's see if this trainer decides to shield to make sure they win the secondary matchup, or if they let it go and then try to farm up energy, because those are the 2 options you have. So he decides to shield, and that's personally what I would have done too, especially when you lose the lead. You want to try to win that secondary matchup, unless you do have a secondary counter to that lead. But if you can win the secondary matchup, I think it just makes the match a little bit easier to win, which is what this trainer did. So very well played there. Now has a ton of energy as well, so it can go double Weather Ball against this Deoxys, and just going to do a big chunk of damage with the 2 Weather Balls. So well played by taking back switch advantage there. Okay, so they are at a shield deficit, but now you can align up the Galvantula to the Deoxys. Now the Deoxys does have an energy lead, but this Galvantula knows that it can tank 1 Rock Slide, so they don't shield, and then saves the energy to come back in later to throw a lunge against the Deoxys. But now that the alignment is much more favorable, this Stunfisk will have a much easier time beating this Altaria than the Galvantula would have. So again, winning that secondary matchup when you lose the lead is very, very critical. Also, when you win the lead very well, or like a hard win, I call it just a hard win. When you hard win the lead, you also want to win that secondary matchup because you don't want to lose that alignment. So, all right, so you can see here, Rock Slide. It's just going to go straight Rock Slide. Doesn't need to shield, but this one they do shield. They didn't shield the first one, but they shield the second one just in case. But now that they switched, he's going to store up some energy, throw a Rock Slide, and then probably would switch in and then throw a lunge back to back, I would imagine. Oh, it knocks it out already. Anyways, okay. So now, yeah, you can just throw pretty much whatever. There's so much energy on both these Pokemon, it really doesn't matter. So gonna throw that, thing's gonna go down, the Galvantula's gonna go down, and then you have a Rock Slide to win the game. So as you can see there, that alignment is crucial. But yeah, it does, like, something to think about though is if you do have 2 counters, so like if you lose the lead but you have 2 counters, a lot of people run A, B, B lines, so like they'll switch into counter to, like, they'll switch into bait like the counter out, and then they'll intentionally lose that matchup and then try to farm up. So that is another strategy. If you do have 2 counters to like a lead that you lose, you don't have to win the secondary matchup as often. All right, so next game against Jodas 10, and we have another Altaria lead. So again, switches into Pelipper. They're gonna counter switch. Now here they have a Stunfisk, which is a little bit more favorable in my opinion because the Weather Balls do super effective damage, and so you can just spam Weather Ball, and because you have an energy lead, it's a little bit easier to win this matchup, and especially if they don't shield like they just did there, you're gonna have a little bit easier time winning this matchup. So the Rock Slide lets it go, just mirroring the shields, but now has to shield because, yeah, you don't want to lose this matchup if you can help it. Now, the Mud Shots are resisted because it's a ground move, and this is a flying type, and ground is only neutral to water, so the opponent doesn't shield, so, you know, gives up the switch advantage, like, you know, by losing that matchup, and now this trainer is going to have, you know, they're going to have a commanding lead now versus before where they lost the lead. So again, you want to win that. If you lose a lead, you want to try as much as you can to win that secondary matchup, especially if you think it's like pretty possible. You want to just go for it. It makes the game a lot easier to win. Of course, anything can happen if you don't know what their back line is, but still, I mean, just in general, it's a little bit easier to win when you get that proper alignment. Okay, so Swampert, gonna go for the Hydro Cannon, but now that it's debuffed, it's gonna be able to tank one, can get another lunge off, so this is a really good situation, and they're gonna save their shield for the Stunfisk, because if you don't knock out the Swampert, it's gonna be bad news for you. If you have to take a Hydro Cannon, even though it's double debuffed, it would still do a big chunk of damage. So good idea there, saving the shield, because now you can shield that and probably farm down from here, I think. Let's see if they do that. Let's see if they go for the farm down. Farm, nice, okay, farm down, and then double rock slide the Altaria, game over. Good game there. Okay, so we just saw 2 games that they lost the lead and were able to pull out a win. And let me look at my notes. The last game, I think, is another lost lead, so this is a 3LL5 set, as I like to call it. 3 lost leads in a 5-0 set, a 3LL5. And that's really impressive to get one of those. So last opponent, let's see what they lead. I don't think it's Altaria this time. I think it's something different. It is, oh yeah, Stunfisk, even worse. Horrible, horrible lead. Gonna go with Pelipper. And then, of course, the opponent, since they already have the energy, they're gonna throw a rock slide. But notice, lets it go. So very interesting. They come in with a Venusaur, which is kind of a neutral matchup because they both kind of take, well, Frenzy Plant just hits really hard. So even though it's neutral to this Pelipper, it does a lot of damage. But Venusaur takes super effective damage from the wing attacks and the air moves, the flying moves. So this trainer is just, instead of going for the Hurricane, just going to spam Weather Balls, and then the damage from the Weather Balls and the wing attacks will be enough to chunk down this Venusaur. And actually, they get both shields. So this is a pretty good scenario to be in. And they both simultaneous KO. And let me pause. Well, let's just see what happens. So you see there, the opponent makes a little bit of a mistake. They throw their next Pokemon in a little too early. Let's watch that again. I'm gonna pause it right around 1 second because that's where it happens. Right here. Okay, so I'm pausing it. You can see in the corner, the typing already appears before the timer appears. So that's kind of where you want to look if you're waiting in this little standoff situation. So now that he sees the flying type, very quick reactions, by the way, because that's still not a lot of time. That's less than 1 second to react, but goes in with the electric type, and that is just all they needed to get that alignment. If they had picked the wrong one, I mean, even with Stunfisk, even if they threw in Stunfisk against that, they could have maybe won, but it would have been much tougher because they would have had to take a lot of those foul plays or whatever that, you know, Mandibuzz had. So, but getting that good alignment just guaranteed, and the opponent concedes the match. And so just to show you proof that this was a 20-0 run, we're gonna see this trainer get rid of some stuff so they can claim the rewards. And then we're gonna scroll down. He's gonna show his little streak here. 20, not little, that's a huge win streak. 20 game win streak. So starting off this season with a bang. So very, very well played. Thank you for submitting that battle. And if you want to submit battles, I'm going to leave my email in the description below. And just, you don't have to ask me, just send them to me, but try not to send like 30 battles. Just if you do have a long streak like this, pick your favorite set. And then send that to me because I won't have time to get to like 6 sets. I can't watch that many because I have other people sending me sets. So just send your best set, and preferably with sound effects on, music off. I prefer that. It just sounds better in videos, I think. Would really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you loved it. And we will see you guys in the next one.